I'm a bit of a nomad, I'm not from here. I'm trying to settle into this place. I am trying to belong to this place. I think that's why soil and plants have been so important for me, because I look at them to learn from, okay, how can I blend in? How can I blend into the culture? How can I learn from those around me? Hi, my name is Lindquist. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an artist. It wasn't until I was in New York and I finally moved in a building that had a really generous size front and backyard for New York standards that I got really excited about plants. And I joined my neighbors in planting a garden and creating compost. And then I joined some other community garden groups in East Harlem in the South Bronx. And I just became obsessed. I started digging into researching orphan plants that are culturally important around the world, thinking about my heritage and maybe what my body likes to eat. So it was with this obsession that I started to think about, how can I use these natural materials in my art practice? The works in the show at SUVAC really came from a pretty experimental place. I was preparing for my thesis exhibition here at the U of M, and most of the work in that show, most of that work are paintings using soil as the medium on either canvas or linen or paper. Since I had collected soil samples not only from Minnesota, but I collected samples from West Africa on a trip last spring. In my own little experimentation, I was like, let me take photos. I'm gonna inoculate these dishes with the soil samples that I collected from West Africa in here from Minnesota, just to see, what's alive in them. And so for the SUVAC show, I've now expanded those images so they're a lot larger and they're really well lit. So we could see a lot more detail, and they're also installed on the ground so that there's that reference back to where this fungi, where this bacteria is, right? Where these microbes are, that they're in the earth below our feet. I'm really excited to be in a show full of Black abstract artists. I think historically, representation can sometimes really constrict us. So to have this more open space to just play materially, formally, not be confined necessarily by our histories or concepts quite literally in the image, I think it's just a huge freedom. So I'm excited to be in a space with other artists who are exercising that freedom. But yeah, I do feel a little bit of an outsider coming into it. A lot of my work has been tied to representation, and I've been really trying to push more towards abstraction because I love this feeling the viewer might have when they first come up to the work and they actually don't recognize it at all. Instead, all they recognize is texture and material, and that might seduce them into thinking or questioning, what is this that I'm looking at? Oh wow, this is soil, this is charcoal, this is just the dirt from under my feet, to kind of stimulate that curiosity, and then maybe to see an image afterwards, then to think about an idea or concept afterwards, really attracts me.